name's Jenna and welcome to my first book haul for 2018. Some of these books I did receive / buy in 2017 right at the very end, but the majority of them have been 2018 buys, and sadly most of them have been for university because uni reads are back in full swing. Woohoo! Haven't even started uni yet and I've started reading the first uni book and oh my god, it's so boring, but I've been reading other books like at the same time because I can't get through them all. I have so many books, but I have a bunch of books to show you guys, 2 piles worth. I don't know how many because I didn't bother to count, but basically I'm going to be showing you the YA Circle books, then books I've received from publishers, then uni books, then every other book that is on that pile. So basically pile 1 then pile 2. So let's get started. So the first book and the only YA Circle book that I have to show you, because I actually already owned the February book of the month, which is awesome, is the YA Circle Book Club book of the month for January, and that was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So this book follows a girl named Jude who at a young age sees her parents brutally murdered in front of her, and when I say brutally I mean brutally murdered in front of her. The murderer then takes her and her 2 sisters back into fairy, where the 3 of them grow up in the courts and learn all about the fairy way of living, I guess is the best way to describe that. So basically it follows Jude on her quest to fit in, I guess, in fairy, because it's one of those things where she might be human but she desperately wants to be like a fairy. And kind of interesting, kind of really boring. Was not a big fan of this book, but if you like fairies, especially if you like dark fairies, then you're probably going to enjoy this one. Next up I have 2 books that I received from Pantera Press, so thank you so much Pantera for sending me these books because y'all are my faves and I think you know that. The first book is Graveyard by Lynette and Ernie. This is the 4th book in the Madoran Chronicles series. Won't go too much into this one obviously because it is the 4th book in the series, but basically this continues the adventures of Alex and her friends while they are trying to combat the threat that is Avon, who is very real and is definitely coming. So love this one so much. I've done full book review and a full spoiler book talk on this one. I'll leave both of them in the description box below if you are interested in checking either of those ones out. The second book that I received from Pantera Press is one that I was super ridiculously excited for, and that is If I Tell You by Alicia Tuckerman. This is Alicia's debut novel and it follows a girl named Alex who is living in a rural Australian town and is a closeted gay. She is kind of keeping that to herself and is thinking she won't bother coming out until she moves away, but that all changes when an openly gay girl named Phoenix moves to town and Alex is drawn into this kind of romance with her while trying to come to terms with who she is as a person and figuring out how to tell the world about who she really is. Beautiful book, heartbreaking. I cannot recommend this book enough. Like seriously, in love with it. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be doing a full spoiler-free book review of this one, so definitely look out for that one on my channel coming soon. Also, can we just please take a second to think about the fact that these both come from Pantera Press and the main characters' names are both Alex. When I first opened up this book and it was like, Alex, I went, what? It's just one of those funny little coincidences that I find absolutely hilarious. So next up we get into the uni books. These are in no particular order, but I'm going to show you the books that I have to read for my big books class. By the way, what a stupid name. Like, who wants to take a topic at uni called big books? Like, it just sounds intimidating. I only have to take it because it's one of my compulsory subjects, but I can guarantee you if I didn't have to take it, I wouldn't be. So the first book on this list is Villette by Charlotte Bronte. Villette is kind of really boring and I'm just not really enjoying it. I'm that far through it now. I've been reading only 3 chapters a day because it's literally all I can handle is 3 chapters a day. Basically, from what I've gathered, it follows a girl named Lucy Snow who sails from London and finds herself in the fictional town of Villette. Yes, I figured out that it was fictional because I had to look it up, but apparently it's fictional. Where she finds employment in a girls' boarding school, and from there she is drawn into romance and adventure by these 2 guys, and all these things happen and yada yada, but like I can't get over the writing because obviously it's very old style writing. It's not the worst book I've ever read, but I'm glad I'm only reading it 3 chapters at a time. Next up I have one of my favourite authors ever, Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own. If any of you were around on my channel in 2016, you would have seen me read Virginia Woolf's novel Mrs. Dalloway. You would know that I want to set fire to Mrs. Dalloway, so I'm not as excited to read A Room of One's Own. The exciting thing about it is look how short it is! It's like 111 pages. It's so short. And even better, guys, it has chapters! If any of you were around during my Mrs. Dalloway days, you would know that Mrs. Dalloway did not have chapters and it killed me. A Room of One's Own has chapters. So I count that as a win. I don't know what this book is about at all, but it's a classic and I have to read it, and I think it's going to be, good's not the word I'm going to use here, but I think it's going to be informative. Let's use that one instead. Next up we have E.M. Forster's The Longest Journey, and again I know literally nothing about this one, so let's just have a quick look at the blurb. There's something about philosophy, something about conformity. It's about a guy named Ricky Elliott who is overwhelmed with the urge to write. Sounds like someone else I know. But he ends up bowing to conformity and marrying this chick instead. Why can't you keep writing, dude? Come on. He abandons his writing and becomes a schoolmaster at a second-rate public school. Ooh. Soon the memory of his idyllic university life falls to nothing as the young man finds himself trapped in a world of petty conformity, bitter disappointment, and agonizing self-doubt. Interesting. It's pretty much a book about a guy who gives up what he wants to do because he does what he thinks he is supposed to do instead. Damn. If it weren't for like the font and the fact that it's going to be such a hard read, I actually think I'm kind of going to enjoy this. Once I figure out how many chapters there are, I'll probably do the same thing, read like 3 chapters a day, but I'm actually kind of keen to read this one now. And the last book that I have to read for my big books class is this one, which I didn't actually look at the name of before I pulled it up. Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. Anyone heard of that book? No, me neither. Look, someone's hopes of a university education are lost when he is trapped into marrying the earthy Arabella who later abandons him. Okay, hold up. Is there incest in this novel? Moving to the town of Christminster, where he finds work as a stonemason, Jude meets and falls in love with his cousin Sue Bridehead, a sensitive, free-thinking new woman. Refusing to marry merely for the sake of religious convention, Jude and Sue decide instead to live together, but they are shunned by society? What? What? You know what? Not even a little bit excited to read that one. Next up, I have a book that I'm reading for my creative writing class, and that is the Best Australian Essays of 2017. Not sure how this works for a creative writing class, and all I'm doing is reading essays, but sure. I can tell you right now that I am not excited to read this. I hate essays. Oh my god, there's so many of them. Why? Who reads essays for fun, by the way? If you read essays for fun, can you please like put your hand up in the comments and let me know why? I just don't understand. Why? This semester at uni, I'm also doing a Shakespeare topic, and I bought a textbook for Shakespeare that weighs 2.8 kilos, so this is going to kill me to hold it up. But here it is, look! It is the Norton Shakespeare 3rd edition, so that's what it looks like. Let's get it out of its box. Oh my god, look at this. This is ridiculous. For some reason, I don't think I'm going to be carting this around to uni, but look at it! It's Shakespeare! And if you look at the pages, okay, the pages are like Bible thin. I'm gonna break something when I read this book. I don't think I'm gonna read like the whole thing, but I'm definitely gonna break something. I'll tell you that right now. Oh my god, this is not good on the wrist, holding it up. So basically this book contains a lot of like introductions about Shakespeare, and then it contains the complete work. So I now have every single play that Shakespeare ever wrote in this one thing here. This is really heavy and I'm just gonna put it down now. But basically, yeah, I have every play that Shakespeare ever wrote. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. The problem is that when I like read Shakespeare, I have to like read it out loud. So I like to walk around with the book. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to walk around with this one because this book is so heavy. You could literally do like weights with this. Like you could get fit reading this book. Oh my god. Ugh. So that's all of the books that I have to read for university, and now we're going to move on to the fun books. The first 3 books that I have to show you are actually books that I got as birthday presents, so I am super excited to share these ones with you guys. The first book is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli, and I got given this one by G Swizz over at G Swizzle Books, so thank you so much, G, for giving me this one. I am so excited to read it. So this book is by the author of Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and if you all know me, you'll know that I love Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. So this book is about a girl named Molly who knows all about unrequited love. So basically, she falls in love with people and they never love her back, which hashtag can relate. So Molly's twin, Cassie, gets a girlfriend, and coming with her is the hipster boy, Will, who is apparently going to be the perfect boyfriend. The only problem is Molly's co-worker, who is a Tolkien-loving boy and apparently is into her. Who knows? And it's definitely someone that she doesn't think she could ever fall for. The way that romance novels goes, pretty sure that's gonna happen. But I mean, hey, I loved Simon, so I'm really excited to read this one and to find out what it's all about. I then got 2 books from the adorable Casey from the channel Books K, so thank you so much for these, Casey. Casey bought me Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray and Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. She got me Tower of Dawn because she was horrified to hear that I didn't own it, and even more horrified to hear that I still haven't read anything past Air of Fire. Look, guys, maybe this year, because Sarah's got the last book in the Throne of Glass series coming out, but also maybe not. You know, we'll see. But basically, I know that this book follows Kale Westfall, and he's my favorite, and I love him so much, so maybe I'll just read this one, although no, I won't, because like spoiler central. But if I could just read this one, I would. And then Defy the Stars, I believe, is an artificial intelligence romance in space, is kind of how I've heard people describe it, and by people I mean Tori from the YA Circle. So Tori loves this book, so I was very interested in it because I know a lot of people who don't love it, so it's just, you know, it's one of those things. Basically, it follows a boy named Abel, who is actually an artificial intelligent robot, which is actually kind of cool, and Naomi, who is a 17-year-old soldier. So Naomi's home is in danger, and Abel is the only one who who may be able to help her save it, despite the fact that the two of them should be sworn enemies. So basically this is kind of like a whirlwind romantic adventure in space that is all about learning what it means to be human, and I'm definitely there for that because that sounds amazing and I actually can't wait to get started on reading this one. Heard the sequel's coming out this year, I'm pretty sure, so maybe I should read it sooner rather than later. And also, when I was peeling off the sticker, I found out that Cass Morgan, one of my favorite authors like of all time, she blurbed it. She says that Defy the Stars is nothing short of masterful, and if she loved it, then I probably will too, so I'm definitely going to read this one at some point. The next book that I have to show you is actually one that I bought in 2017, and that is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. And this one's a hardcover, so I'm going to do the whole like flip this thing. Oh, it's purple. Isn't it pretty? So I don't know a lot about Autobiography, but I'm pretty sure that it follows a bisexual teenager who goes to a summer writing camp where he meets this boy who is like mentoring the class, and they kind of fall in love through writing, I believe is kind of the plotline of this book. But it sounds amazing and people rave about it. I know that I have a friend who says she loves it more than Simon, and Simon was like her everything. So I'm really excited to read this one and to finally get to see what it's all about. I also picked up Geekerella by Ashley Poston. Geekerella is a Cinderella retelling and follows a girl by the name of Elle who is obsessed with this TV show, which kind of reminds me a little bit of Firefly, which I think is kind of the point. So Elle travels to this cosplay contest all about this TV show where she meets the lead actor, and they kind of have this little thing going, and basically think Cinderella but in cosplay and with cons and pop culture and all of that fun stuff. So basically I think it's going to be a real like love letter to fangirls like myself, so I'm really excited to read this one. I also picked up Zenith by Sasha Augsburg and Lindsay Cummings. This book follows a girl named Andy and her misfit team of badass pirate women as they travel the galaxy looking for jobs and trying to avoid getting caught. On one of their missions it goes kind of a little bit wrong and they end up captured by this guy called Dex, who is a bounty hunter from Andy's past and has a job for her to do. So the group ends up in this really like terrible, awful situation that they then have to try and find the best way out of. Also across the universe, a shadow is lurking because someone is waking up and realizing that the world is actually theirs for the taking. So kind of a civil war sort of thing is brewing here, and honestly I really enjoyed this book. Like, it was so much fun. It's definitely that sci-fi badass kick-ass, how do they describe it? Guardians of the Galaxy but with an all-female crew. That sounds like your type of thing. Definitely pick this one up. I loved this book. I thought it was fantastic. It's kind of long though, which I was a little bit odd about, and it's got like 90 chapters as well. That's because they're all from like a different point of view, and honestly it works so well and I really enjoyed this book. And then the last book I have to show you is The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson. This is an arc of the book, although I think the book is out now already. I got this one from the YA Circle. Tori was sent a bunch of books and I won one, which was really cool. I know nothing about it though, like literally nothing, so, but it sounds kind of Hunger Games-esque. So apparently this follows a girl named Wren who every winter she is chased through the forest by a bunch of boys called the Judges, and if they ever caught her, bad things would happen. Apparently Wren has magical powers, and the more she uses them, the more she loses her grip on reality and she starts to question everything. It sounds pretty cool and I am really like looking forward to reading it, but I don't have like a good grasp on what the book is actually about, so I don't feel like I can give you guys a very accurate description. But either way, I think it sounds really cool and I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. And there you have it. Those are all of the books that I've picked up over the first couple of months of February. February is only 1 month. I meant 2018. It's been a long day. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have read any of these books and what you think. I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.